Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video about my reaction to Joe Blackburn's video on Twitter that he posted today about the future of PvP and other stuff. I really thought that his I really thought his video was pretty sincere. He definitely seemed like he was really sorry for how the State of the Game article turned out, and how just the lack of communication has been between Bungie and the community, and it's just the overall disconnect between the two as of late. And I just wanted to touch on some stuff that he said that I think is kind of interesting. Um, I'll just go down the line of what he, in the order that he started with, that he went through it. He started with the Final Shape Showcase. A lot of people are going to watch it next week. We'll just see what has to happen. I'm hopeful, but just going to see what happens. Next, he talked about PvP. This is where I actually was interested once I heard about this. He said that sometime next year, in year 7, there'll be a map pack introduced. So instead of Bungie releasing one new map within a year, and maybe like one or two reprised maps, either from D1 or a vaulted one from D2, they're just gonna put a bunch of effort into a single map pack and release multiple maps, hopefully 4 or 5, maybe more, hopefully. It's all gonna be free, and this way they don't get it, or this way it's not as negatively received as like Disjunction, which was our most recent map that came out last year during Witch Queen, where we only had, it was designed for Rift. And so because it was designed for Rift, it got put into like all the modes. And even though it only kind of excelled in Rift, I mean, I wouldn't even kind of say kind of excelled, it existed in Rift. It was put into all the other modes. It did not thrive very well in those, and so hopefully with this map pack, they'll be able to make maps that are suited for different playstyles or different modes or whatnot. So that hopefully there's a bit of variety. I like that. I did see some people on Reddit or Twitter or something saying that potentially with this map pack they might be outsourcing the work for this. If that's the case, I'm completely okay with that. I know when they were with Activision at the beginning of D2, Vicarious Vision and High Moon Studios helped work with Bungie to create stuff. Now, I don't know if they worked, I don't know what aspects of the game they worked on, but with those two studios helping Bungie, they were able to release PvP maps and updates on a more frequent and regular schedule. So if they're outsourcing this work, I'm okay with that. Or if they somehow magically got all these resources, even though like in the State of the Game article 2 weeks ago they said they had no resources to do that, I'm a little confused as to how then they didn't have resources and now all of a sudden with Joe Blackburn's video today they do. I would like a little bit of clarity on how that completely pivoted from like 2 weeks ago to today. We'll just have to see how that goes. You mentioned that they're creating a Crucible Strike team, which sounds like it basically just sounds like a dev team. He described it as being like a small team designed to make quick responses to issues, in this case specifically for Crucible, to try to make a bunch of changes on the fly, to fix stuff, and to target pain points within the Destiny 2 PvP community that we've been having for years. Whether that just be like connection issues, balancing issues, or maps and modes breaking, stuff like that. I hope that this can help alleviate some issues. My only concern is he said they're putting together a team for that right now. So if they're putting together the team right now, I'm just gonna say highballing, I would assume there's no more than 10 people on the team. That's my guess. So if they're putting together a group of 10 people to be on this strike team, how long is it going to take them to fill all these spots, and how long will it be before we actually see anything that they have done? Because again, I don't know if they're finding these people internally or externally or whatever, but it'll take a bit of time for all of them to get on the same page and for them to start addressing issues, and then once they've addressed issues, then being able to go and figure out the problem and fix it. How long is that going to take? My guess is we won't see any of their work done, at least until the final shape, which I assume will come out late February like Witch Queen and Lightfall have, but we won't find out for certain until the showcase next week. Some comp adjustments. He mentioned that they're introducing Countdown Rush into competitive. And I think he said removing Rift entirely, which I don't know. I'm torn. I liked 3v3 Rift. I like that it adds like an objective, which is what Countdown Rush will do. But there's just so many issues with Rift as a mode in general, between spawns and just pure mobility options as a whole, that it's probably not best in its current state to keep in competitive. Now, an introduction of Countdown Rush, I believe that is the one where you like ping pong back and forth between attack and defend, and you can keep respawning. And so like if I'm on attack, then my team has like 2 or 3 minutes to go and try to defuse or to detonate both bombs, and for each bomb we detonate we get a point, and if we like plant the bomb, then if the defenders defuse it, then they get a point, and it's the first team to however many points. Which I believe it's been like in the rotator playlist this season a couple times in 6v6, which has been chaotic, but 6v6 is always chaotic, so hopefully it's less chaotic in 3v3. I am a little concerned with this is another mode like Trials where Well and Bubble are just going to be the best because of their pure defensive capabilities. Granted, they also have offensive capabilities, but they're mostly just defensive is what they're used for. That combined with that like defensive bunker down ability combined with the low cooldown of Bubble and Well of Radiance is kind of problematic, I think. Granted, this mode might be fast enough that you might be able to get away, or that might not be an issue, but in a coordinated team of 3 that knows how to cycle cooldowns effectively, it might be a bit more of a problem. But that's probably just like the super high end, at least, so we'll see how that goes. He also mentioned they're going to try to simplify the process of gaining and losing points, and I think he said it'll be less on like your internal MMR rating according to Bungie, thankfully, and more just based on if you like purely won or lost, and less about your actual contribution to the game, which I'll have to see how it plays out. In theory, it sounds decent, but if the matchmaking stays the same, I don't know if it'll actually end up fixing anything. We'll just see though. I don't know. Pivoting away from competitive, he brought up Relic and Checkmate, which are two like Crucible Labs modes coming that they're trying out next season. Checkmate, he seemed to have a lot of praise for Checkmate. At least internally, he said he made it seem like they really enjoyed it. Where like momentum control speeds up or it makes the TTKs way faster while reducing cooldowns. Checkmate appears to reduce TTK or to make TTKs slower by about 20%, I believe is what I heard, while also reducing cooldown, or while also increasing cooldowns and like reducing ability spam and stuff. So it'll be more of a primary gunfight mode. I'm interested to see how that works. I don't know. As long as it's not too similar to like D2 year 1, where it was just when we had double primary, it was just a scout rifle meta and you just hold hands all the time. And they also mentioned Relic, which is like another party mode similar to Team Scorched, where I believe it's like getting kills will grant you the ability to use a relic, and I believe there's 3 relics, and they are the Aegis from Vault of Glass, the Synaptic Spear from the like Psyops Battlegrounds strike things from last year in Season of the Ribbon that are now just in the like Vanguard strike playlist pool thing, where you just are in third person and you throw the giant like blue spear. And then I believe the other relic is the giant scythe from Season of Haunted on the Leviathan in that Leviathan Derelict or Derelict Leviathan, whatever, on that destination with the scythe that you could get. That seems like another interesting party mode. Will I play it? Probably. I'll try it. Will I actually play it? Probably not. I don't even remember the last time I played Team Scorched, honestly. So overall for PvP, I'm excited for the map pack. Interested and intrigued to see how the Crucible Strike team works and how quickly they're actually able to respond to issues and fix problems that have been plaguing Crucible for the last 5+ years. And some of these comp changes sound intriguing, but I'll believe it when I see it. The changes for that. And Relic and Checkmate seem alright. Armor, the big thing that I'm actually very happy about this. He started by mentioning how they want to make cool armor that's tied to endgame activities and themed around that, and most of the Eververse armor will be fourth wall breaky that don't necessarily fit within like a Destiny activity, which I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I still don't think that that's right to prioritize that over like a new ritual armor set each year. But he said in response, they're turning one of the Eververse armor sets for next season, Season 22, into just an armor set that you can just get the pieces from Crucible, Strikes, and Gambit. So it won't cost you any money, no silver. It was going to, but now they're making it free. You just get it from doing activities, which, huge W. I'm very glad to see that. The last thing he mentioned was communication. He has mentioned how they've been hard at work working on Final Shape, and they're trying to just make the best expansion that they can. But while doing that, they've let their communication with the community slip, and that's become an issue. and he said that they are going to get back into communicating more effectively with the community, but he did put some rules around it. He said the first thing is, number one priority is Bungie employee safety, which makes sense. He wants new employees to be able to come work at Bungie without having a fear of that they're going to be personally attacked or have like pizza sent to their door from a stranger online with threats, if you're aware of that whole thing. And he also wants to communicate more, but they'll be using the official Bungie and Destiny accounts on Twitter, Reddit, and the Bungie forums. So it'll be more about using official Bungie accounts and less about using personal Twitter accounts. Now, there's some exceptions like Joe Blackburn or like Mercules. Mercules has been another common Bungie dev who's been pretty vocal and been fairly communicative. He's been on a couple podcasts every once in a while, and he talks about stuff that they're working on that he's allowed to talk about. Yeah, overall, I really liked this way better than the State of the Game article that they posted a couple weeks ago. That was not good. This is what the State of the Game article should have been. Had they gone this route, I think it would have helped a lot. And I'm glad that I'm glad that Joe Blackburn sat down and did this little like pretty casual chat with everybody. I don't expect him to do it a whole lot more, but it was very nice to see. So I hope all of these things improve the game. Some of the stuff I'm a little hesitant about, just to see how it happens and just the process of it, namely the crucible side of things. But I'll give Bungie and Joe Blackburn props. He did a great job with this, and I hope that this helps steer the ship in the right direction. So that's it for me today. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later.